guys, it's Camille, and today I'm in Animal Kingdom, and for once I'm visiting when something is not closing, so that's pretty cool. If you read the title to this video, y'all already know what we're getting ourselves into today. We are finally completing the Disney World parks with all of the quiet spots in Animal Kingdom. For those new to the channel, for those who have never seen me before, I am an annual pass holder who visits the parks frequently. I love the Disney parks, and I also happen to be on the autism spectrum. I was diagnosed when I was very, very young, but I love Disney World. I love a lot of the rides, most of them, and I love just the theming, the details, just the vibes, the characters. I have a lot of fun with the theme parks. So let's say you're someone who is like me, you happen to be on the autism spectrum, or you are considered neurodivergent in some way, and you like the theme parks, but you don't like people, more specifically big crowds of people, and they can be very overwhelming and very scary, and unfortunately theme parks are just naturally very crowded and overwhelming environments. Let's say that you're not considered neurodivergent and you're considered neurotypical and you like the theme parks as well, but you also don't like big crowds of people, and you would like to know if there's any spots in Disney World where it's quiet and you can get away from the chaos for a little bit. That is what this video is about. So today's video is dedicated to all of my neurospacey friends, to all of my introvert friends, and to anybody who could just use a really nice chill spot to relax for 5 minutes before they get back into having fun. I've already done videos of Magic Kingdom's quiet spots, Epcot's quiet spots, and Hollywood Studios quiet spots. I will be linking all 3 videos down in the description box below. I will also be leaving a link to Disney's Guide for Neurodivergent Guests. So Animal Kingdom is the biggest of the Disney World parks. It's huge. To put it into perspective, Kilimanjaro Safari is the same size as Magic Kingdom. That is alarming. There's a lot of ground to cover. And when I looked at Disney's official list of quiet spots, they were not very specific. Like literally 90% of them, and I'll flash them on screen here, just say areas throughout. What do you mean by that? So I'm hoping to bring a little clarity to that list, because if you're anything like me, I need specifics, I need details, and I hope somebody out there will appreciate the level of detail that I will go into today. So without further ado, let's get started. What's cool about Animal Kingdom is that there's several little pockets of space throughout the entire park that one could deem a quiet spot. For example, this area that I'm in right now that I filmed the intro in, this is just right as you enter the park. This is near the iguana exhibit, and more specifically, it has this cool waterfall over here. As you can see, granted it's early in the morning, there's not very many people down here. This is because everybody's so focused on getting into the park. But if you need help finding it, you're gonna look for this sign. And you're gonna look for this guy. Hi buddy! Look at you, you're so cute! This is also near another exhibit, but this is right as you walk through and you enter the park. Past the photo shop, there's this boulder. It's cool because it's tiny and compact. I mean, you probably don't want to block the walkway, but if you stand off to the side, especially over here where it's like super shaded, it's really nice. Another really good spot is the Pocket of Space by Garden Gate Gifts, which is at the very front of Animal Kingdom, like right after you scan your ticket. 90% of the time, there's nobody ever over there, but every now and again, in that particular area, you may come across Divine, which is a character specific to Animal Kingdom. She's the plant lady on stilts, and she's normally entirely green, but for the month of April, she's adorned with dozens of colorful, beautiful flowers for Earth Month. Divine does not come out very often, so I do highly recommend that if you do see her, grab a quick picture with her. She's a delight to see in person. There's also, just past this sign, you're gonna go off to the right, over here. For the few times that I've filmed videos in Animal Kingdom, I've often filmed my intros over in this spot, because most people tend to avoid over here. mostly because they're focused on trying to get into the park. But yeah, this area is really nice. For the most part, it's shaded. It can get humid in the hotter months because of all the foliage, so it feels 10 degrees hotter than it actually is. But for the most part, it's not super sunny over here, and there's hardly any people that walk over in this section. They also have this. In fact, this is the waterfall that I was just showing you guys. We're now on the other side of it. But if you like dark, dank little areas, this is really neat too. They also have a bench over here, so that's cool. So you can sit down, you can people watch, because the entrance to the park is just right up ahead. Or like if the park is closing and you kind of want to wait until a lot of the people have already left, you can just chill here and wait. If you have little kids too and they like to run around and play, this is a good spot. And what's extra fun is that you can get over here via a rope bridge. Let's see. You know, last time I did a rope bridge, it was on Tom Sawyer's Island, and I broke a nail doing it. And I don't want to break a nail again today, so it all just kind of circles back around. And now we're back to where I filmed the intro. No further ado, let's get into the park.
Thank you for joining us for Winged Encounters. Remember, together we can help ensure amazing sights like these remain in wild places for many generations to come. Enjoy the rest of your adventures here at Disney's Animal Kingdom.
It's not too bad first thing this morning, but it's certainly sunny. So Animal Kingdom is a very, very big park, and we've got a lot of land to cover, so I think we're gonna go towards Africa first. So walking towards Africa, more specifically as if you're gonna go towards Creature Comforts, you're gonna turn over here, because there's the Tree of Life pathway. This I wanna show y'all. If you're somebody who admires the details of the Tree of Life, this is for you. The Tree of Life Garden is a large scenic walking trail that takes you up to and around the Tree of Life. This trail is normally pretty empty, making it ideal for taking breaks and getting away from the crowds. Not only that, but by far the best part about this quiet spot is that you also get the most incredible view of the Tree of Life. This gets you right up front and personal with the Tree of Life. I just want to say right now, it is incredible to actually be this close to the tree in person, because you really don't understand how much detail is carved into the trunk of the tree until you're up in front of it. And as you can see, there's nobody over here. Most people tend to forget that this little walkway exists, which is a shame, because look at it. Look at it. It's so cool. The trail itself is of pretty decent length. It's actually quite long, and there are wider pathways and fun little caves to go under, and there's a cool waterfall. And of course, throughout the rest of the trail, there's just even more stunning locations for photo opportunities. I highly recommend that if you want a photo in front of the Tree of Life and you want little to no people in the background of your picture, this trail is an absolute must. The majority of the trail is fairly shaded for the most part. There's garbage cans throughout the trail as well in case you need to throw away any trash like food garbage or whatnot. And aside from the stunning views of the Tree of Life, my personal favorite part about this trail is that you can see the adorable ring-tailed lemurs, as their viewing area happens to be along the trail path. Look at them! Oh, I didn't know they were over here. Oh, hi, baby. Look at how cute you are. Oh, my goodness. Hello. If you're wondering where exactly the trail ends, the exit comes out right where Russell and Doug's meet and greet location is, so it does take you to the opposite side of Discovery Island, so keep that in mind. The largest quiet spot in Africa is the Gorilla Falls Exploration Trail. Located next to the exit of Kilimanjaro Safaris, this is one of 2 animal viewing trails that reside in Disney's Animal Kingdom. There's several animal exhibits throughout the walk, like when you first walk in and you see these adorable Angola Columbus monkeys. This one I thought actually was fake when I first saw him. Throughout the expansive walkway, there are several covered areas that have fans actively blowing cold air. Please take advantage of these, the heat can be brutal. Many of the animal viewing spots are off the beaten path, so to speak, and away from the main walkway, like this one on screen now. This is the Okapi. The entire trail has plenty of benches and seating to go around. There are several buildings throughout the trail that house not only more animals and viewing locations, but also can act as additional quiet areas for park guests, like this one before you go inside the reptile house. Some portions of the exploration trail do get busy. The reptile house is one of them. So you do have the option of just walking right through and you go into my least favorite section of the trail, the bird section. So I'm terrified of birds. Don't get me wrong, they're beautiful animals, but they also freak me out to no end and I want nothing to do with them. This specific section of Gorilla Falls also sees a ton of people in general, which doesn't help. The birds do fly above you and towards you and right next to you and walk right by you. It is unpleasant if you do not like birds. The hippo viewing area is inside. It's quite large and has massive windows so you can see the hippos regardless of how close you get to the windows. In fact, many of the animal viewing spots are good size, and a lot of them offer shading and even seating. The meerkat viewing area is a really good example of that. Of course, the biggest appeal to Gorilla Falls are all the gorillas. This is one of many locations where you can view the gorillas throughout the trail. What I love about this specific spot is that if the windows have too many people around, you can still get a good view of the gorillas from the section that's above the one that's on ground level. And again, there's also plenty of seating throughout. There's also several spots outside of the main gorilla building where you can see the gorillas out and about without having to deal with as many people or noise. The day I went, all the gorillas were outside and they were just hanging out and chilling out and eating leaves and vibing. It was great. Overall, Gorilla Falls Exploration Trail is an underrated attraction here at Disney's Animal Kingdom, and 90% of the trail is fantastic for needing to get away from the crowds in the park. That's also not mentioning the fact that you get to see some African animals that you don't get to see on Kilimanjaro Safari next door, at least not normally. What can I say? There's lots of benches, several different buildings, viewing locations, areas away from the main path, fans, and tons of amazing animals to see and even more amazing facts to learn about said animals too, thanks to the cast members that are stationed in each of the animal viewing areas. Alright, our next quiet spot is the furthest out of the way in the entire park, so much so you gotta take a train to get to it. This is Rafiki's Planet Watch and the Conservation Station. Allie's entering it. Much like the Gorilla Falls Exploration Trail, there are several pockets of space just first entering into Rafiki's Planet Watch that one could deem quiet and calming. Because Rafiki's Planet Watch is so far out of the way of the rest of the park, it's not very often that you get a lot of people that come up here. In fact, during some parts of the year, they'll close the train an hour early before the park closes. So keep that in mind. Percent of this trail leading up to the main conservation station building and the petting zoo can all be considered one big quiet area. This is the conservation station. This massive building houses a lot of really neat things. I'll take you inside. So the biggest offering that happens to be inside the conservation station building is the animation experience. And they're actually just about to start seating everybody who's going to partake in today's animation experience. This is the opportunity where you're given a piece of paper, a pencil, and a cast member will teach you how to draw a specific Disney character, typically an animal. So if you're somebody who has an appreciation for animation, especially hand-drawn, or if you're just somebody who likes to draw, this is a really fun one. It is free to try. They have multiple times throughout the day, and the characters do change from session to session. Arguably, the coolest part of the conservation station is the animal health and care. This is Animal Kingdom's animal hospital. So the day I visited, I was surprised to see the veterinarians were doing dentistry on one of the Nigerian dwarf goats. His name is Fen. He's 4 years old. Poor thing had a tooth that was causing him a lot of troubles, and so they had to figure out what was going on. He later wound up having to get a CT scan too. They do have television screens that show guests the operations from a better angle. They're located on the left and right side of the viewing glass. Now, if you can't get up close to the window, or you simply don't want to, but you still want to see what they're doing, they do have 2 more TV screens directly above the window so you can just watch from a distance. The Animal Health Center performs a lot of basic health procedures and even some surgeries in this particular operating room so guests can watch. Now, aside from the viewing window, the rest of the surrounding area has benches. They're spacious, and for the most part are relatively quiet compared to the small crowds that develop over by the viewing window. Now, near these sections, you can go up to these windows that feature the reptiles, amphibians, and insects over in the Animal Healthcare Center, and you can see cast members that actively work in those areas, actively taking care of them. There's even a nutrition station where you can watch cast members prepare the food that they feed the animals. Hi!
How are you doing today?
I'm good, you?
Good. I'm doing very well, thank you.
What you making
I
there?
am working on making some food for the birds that live in our aviaries. So this is our fruit salad. It's got apples, grapes, honeydew, papaya, and sweet potato in it.
Wow, that sounds pretty
I
good.
get it fresh every morning.
Nice. And then is this like a kale thing?
Yeah, this is a kale and endive salad, so that's what they're gonna get next here, right on top.
Wow, they eat good.
Do our best, for sure.
Have a good day.
Yeah, you as well. Thanks for visiting.
Thank you. After that, the rest of the building consists of these areas that display a variety of facts and information about different animals, insects, conservation, and more. Again, all of this is relatively relaxed and doesn't normally see very many people, and it's pretty quiet. Finally, if you're a character person like me, Rafiki from The Lion King does have meet and greets in this building, and he rotates with Timon from time to time. And then you're back over by the animation experience again. Just outside of the conservation station is the affection section. It's the petting zoo. You can go in and pet all the goats. So they have primarily goats in the petting zoo, like this guy. The general rule of thumb is that you don't want to touch their heads or faces. You can touch their bodies, but that's about it. See, look at this guy. Ain't he cute? Out over here. The affection section does see the most people in Rafiki's Planet Watch, but even at that, it's huge, it's very clean, and even with some of the extra people, it's not that bad, and it's pretty relaxed. And you get to see a variety of ghosts, sheep, a cow, some donkeys, even a pig that I did not get on camera. You don't even have to touch them with your bare hands if you don't want to, because they have little brushes all over that you can use to brush the animals, and they're super chill, so they don't mind either way. Once you're done in the affection section and you want to leave, there are sinks and soap near the exit so you can wash your hands before you go. Just outside of the affection section is the Animal Encounter Care Story. They have 2 showtimes today. We're not going to see it today, but I do want to show you the area because when there isn't a show, it's very chill. It's shaded, there's fans, there's benches, all different kinds of benches, benches without backs, benches with backs, and best of all, there's a couple pythons you can see over here. See, like this guy, he's huge. Holy cow. They've also got vending machines back here and picnic tables and more fans. Disney labeled Rafiki's Planet Watches areas throughout this section of the park have quiet spots. Me personally, I deem the entire section just one big quiet area. Even in the sections inside the building that do get a little congested, like when they do have animal operations going on at the animal hospital, not very many people come up here because you do have to take a train to get up here, and then you have to take a train to go back into the rest of the park. But you know, if you're willing to make the trek up here, it's so totally worth it. You get to see so many cool behind the scenes aspects of Animal Kingdom and how they take care of their animals, how they feed them. You get to see some cute cuddly goats. You also have the opportunity to see a couple Lion King characters. You also have the opportunity to learn how to draw different Disney characters as well. So I do highly recommend Rafiki's Planet Watch. The whole section is one big autism-friendly, neurodivergent-friendly section here at Animal Kingdom. I can't recommend it enough. So it's a tiny bit warm out. It's supposed to be 90 today. I don't think it's gotten that hot yet, but it will eventually, and I don't intend on staying in the park all day. So we're gonna head back to the train station and we're gonna keep on trucking. Alrighty, we've made it back to Africa, and before we leave, I just want to show you a couple different areas that Disney doesn't mention as quiet spots, but I deem them as such. Case in point, right over here. This is right across from Tusker House. You're gonna go across the way and it's like a nice little photo op. You get a really nice look at the river. It's really nice. And there isn't a whole lot of people that typically come over here. Our final quiet section, at least in this area of the park, is going to be what I consider to be the Pandora quiet spot. Disney does not have any official quiet areas in Pandora, which is the world of Avatar. It happens to be the most popular section of the park, so more often than not, it gets very people-y very fast. But this area right here, as if you're gonna leave Festival of Lion King and you're gonna go all the way down. This, my friends, is the best quiet spot. This right here. This is the bridge leading from Africa all the way to Pandora. This is an alternative way to get into the Pandora area without having to deal with the crowds over into the main entrance of the land. We get a nice view of the river. There is shade underneath the bridge, and it stretches all the way down to where Festival of the Lion King is. And best of all, it's not normally very populated. This area is hands down my favorite quiet spot in Animal Kingdom, and it's my personal favorite way to get over to Pandora if I ever decide to go over to that area whenever I visit. We're not going to go to Pandora today. This is about as close as I'm going to get, so let's keep on moving. Alrighty, we made it to Asia, and our first of the two quiet spots here in this section of Animal Kingdom, it's actually right up here. I walked right past it. You're gonna go up to Caravan Road, which is one of the food booths, and it's this pathway. I never knew about this pathway. This apparently takes you all the way down to Africa. There's so many intertwining paths throughout Animal Kingdom, so at least for me, I'm always discovering something new when I'm down here. Oh, how cute! They got tables, chairs. It's shaded. The fans are not on though. Wow. Yeah, this is pretty chill. This path, I guess, is supposed to take you all the way back down to Africa. So if you wanted to get down to the Asia section of the park and you don't want to deal with any of the crowds or the congestion in the roads, just take this pathway. You can take it all the way up and it'll take you out by where Caravan Road is. That's pretty cool. Keep in mind too that there are a lot of different shaded seating areas throughout Animal Kingdom, such as this one. And they tend to not be as populated usually, especially if you go during non-peak food rushes. So Asia in Animal Kingdom is home to attractions like the Feathered Friends in Flight, which is the bird show. They've also got Expedition Everest and my favorite ride, Cali River Rapids. Asia also has one other quiet spot, and it's another walking trail. But before we go to said walking trail, it's very, very hot, and I don't want to die out in the heat today. Before we finish up in Asia, we're gonna stop inside Yak and Yeti for a quick bite to eat, and more importantly, air conditioning. Okay, so I didn't have a reservation for Yak and Yeti, but I was able to walk up to the cast member and ask if there was any availability for a party of one, which there is. It's just a 30-minute wait. So while we're waiting, we're gonna beeline it towards our last quiet spot, and I'm gonna show you guys the second trail in Animal Kingdom, which is the, if I'm gonna butcher the pronunciation, the Maharajah Tiger Trek. It's actually the Maharajah Jungle Trek, but I digress. You get to see monkeys, lizards, and tigers. Well, I guess according to Google Translate, it's actually pronounced Maharajah, so do with that what you will. Anywho, Maharajah Trek is very similar to Gorilla Falls in that it's not heavily populated, and there's several pockets of space along the walk that one can deem a quiet spot. The majority of the trail is shaded, quiet, has plenty of benches and seating, waste cans, and of course, the most important thing, fans. Lots of them. There are a ton of animal viewing areas throughout the walk, and a lot of them have covered areas out of the sun, which is great for hot days.
I honestly don't know what was in this exhibit. I think it's where the Komodo dragons are supposed to be. But I do know that the next one was the bat house, because you get to see the big fruit bats in the bat house. Much like the reptile house, it can get crowded from time to time, so you do have the option of walking right through the bat house instead. However, it wasn't busy when I visited, so I stopped to see the bats. Aren't they cute? I do want to mention that Maharajah Trek does have a companion bathroom right outside of the bat house, so just so y'all know that you can use the bathroom there if you need to. Past the bathroom are the stairs that lead up to one of the large tiger viewing areas. It was pretty hot outside by that point of the day, so there weren't any tigers outside when I stopped by. If you're someone who has a hard time utilizing stairs, or if you're somebody who's wheelchair bound, there is an additional viewing window of the same spot on ground level. Similarly to how people want to see the gorillas at Gorilla Falls, everybody wants to see the tigers of the Maharajah Trek. And thankfully, there are several spots throughout where you can view the tigers to avoid the larger crowds of people. Currently, there is a baby tiger named Bosco that's been super popular lately, but he wasn't out when I visited that day. I did see one of the adult tigers though. Look at him, such a sleepy baby. Maharajah Trek's animal viewing locations do offer seating and even shade, similarly to Gorilla Falls, and they're also pretty decent size as well. After seeing some water buffalo and getting another glimpse of the tiger area from the bridge, you take more shaded winding paths down to another building that leads you to my least favorite part of the trek. Another bird section.
Oh boy. Oh boy, there's one in the road. Just don't touch me, I'll be fine. Oh my gosh. Oh my word.
Hey, look, those birds, they get real close to you, and they're way more people-friendly in there than they are over at Gorilla Falls. The bird section, however, is the last part of the trail, and it's just walking paths from there. Overall, Maharajah Trek is another underrated attraction here in Disney's Animal Kingdom, giving guests a glimpse at the variety of Asian wildlife that you don't see anywhere else in the park, along with being another great place to beat the crowds.
Alrighty, we've got one last section of the park to explore, and that's Dinoland. It's crazy. The last time I was back here was right before the Dinorama Carnival closed down, and that was all the way back in January. So I have not been back here in several months. Holy cow. Yeah, I have not been back here since January, so like, wow. It's all walled up. It's crazy. Even the dinosaurs gone. Our final quiet spots within Animal Kingdom are actually going to be back towards this direction. Our first section over in the Dinoland area of Animal Kingdom is actually right over here. You get some amazing views of Expedition Everest up ahead. But this is an outdoor theater, and this specific little arena used to host a nighttime show that Animal Kingdom had very, very briefly called Rivers of Light. I don't think a lot of people cared much for it. I thought it was beautiful. It made me cry. But they got rid of it after the pandemic hit, and they never brought it back. Instead, for a brief amount of time, they had something called Kite Tales, which I think took place over here. It was not well received. But they don't do Kite Tales anymore, and currently this whole area is just abandoned, but it's not blocked off either. So one could theoretically just come on by and pick wherever they want to sit. And our final quiet spot, not just in Dinoland, but in Animal Kingdom as a whole, is just up ahead. Right up here is the show building for the Finding Nemo, the Big Blue and Beyond musical. Our last quiet spot is this section over here. This is usually for stroller parking. They have telephones, and the restrooms are way down that pathway over there. But it's very quiet. It's super shaded. Restrooms again are just up ahead. They have telephones up here as well. And there's hardly any people that ever come back here. The only time you ever see this area busy is when those doors open, because that's when everybody from the musical leaves and they all immediately beeline into the restrooms. So if you're able to time it right, 90% of the time, this area is fantastic for getting away from the crowds. You know, honorary mention for this specific pathway going back to Discovery Island towards the park exit. It's just past where that crossway is, where the dinosaur sign is and whatnot. I don't know if it's just because today is not very busy, at least from what I've seen. I didn't attempt to really go on any rides, but no, this pathway it's chill. Alrighty, so now we're back in Discovery Island. I'm actually near the park exit now, back in one of the many little quiet pockets of space that's in Discovery Island on the way into the park. Well, in my case, on the way out of the park. So that's all the quiet spots here in Animal Kingdom. You know, I am so thrilled that I was able to make videos dedicated to the quiet areas in all 4 Disney parks. I am such a big Disney Parks fan. I love the Disney theme parks, and you know, it's nice knowing that there are different areas in each of the 4 theme parks that I can go to should I need to take a break, if I get overwhelmed, if I get overstimulated. And I really truly do hope that these videos help whoever is watching, because everyone deserves to take a quick break and everybody deserves to have a good time. And you know, it's been such a blessing being able to make these. And there's so much to explore in Animal Kingdom too, and that's what makes it so fun. I had a very good time today. We got to see plenty of cute, adorable animals. We got to see a goat get dental work done and get a CT scan. I was not expecting that. We had some tasty food. And you know, we got to take in so many of the different sights and sounds here at Animal Kingdom. Once again, it is my sincere hope that somebody gets something out of this, whether this is informative to somebody out there or this is entertaining to somebody out there. I hope that this helps somebody who may need this kind of information. Well, now that I've shown you guys all the quiet spots in the Disney World theme parks, I guess where can I go from here? Well, I am an annual pass holder for Universal. And that's something I've been wanting to cover for a little while now, especially after looking through Universal's guide for neurodivergent guests. They go into so much detail. I'll have to make separate videos for them. But until then, I'm going to conclude today's video. I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna go inside and get some AC. It's very hot out. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Be sure to tell your friends and family about the channel. And if you guys have any questions or if you just want to say anything at all, feel free to leave them down in the comments. I do always read them. I may even reply. I'll see you soon. Bye.